Good evening. Welcome to this week's episode of It's My Turn Now, where you get an opportunity. Just let us know what's on your mind. Let us know what you're thinking about. Uh, on last week, we had our very first on site live It's My Turn Now. If you saw it last week, let us know what your thoughts are. If you like that, I enjoy doing on location. We were at Christ Temple Church doing the 100th centennial celebration of services. We had our guest was Bishop Charles Fennell, pastor of Christ Temple Church, also Dr. Thomas Griffith, pastor of Zion Tabernacle Church. So we had a very good program on last week. Appreciate each and everyone that joined us on last week for that live broadcast. Today we're going to do something different. I don't know about you, but I had a busy week on last week. I was at church 6 days last week, kind of like old school. I used to do that when we were younger, go to school church 6 7 days, but I went to church 6 days in Indianapolis at the council, and then prior to that, I've been 3 days straight in Evansville. So it's been a pretty busy time for me. But tonight's topic is open mic. I like to give you, the audience, a chance to just come on. If you're on my Facebook page, there is a link for you if you so desire to uh, come on and be heard. Let us know what's on your mind. The subject tonight is pet peeves. What are your pet peeves? I talk to a lot of people, and you hear that old saying, "This is a pet peeve of mine." I want to know what your pet peeve is. However, I'm going to switch it a little bit. We want to talk about that, and if there's something else you want to talk about, it's open mic. Feel free. But I want to know how many of you heard the Supreme Court ruling. I know a lot of times we have Christian individuals on this program, and sometimes we don't keep up with what we call politics. As for many, we feel like we shouldn't address political matters, but political matters are simply policies. How do we deal with the policies and procedures that affect us? The policies and procedures that affect the church. Today's Supreme Court decisions gives the president pretty much immunity for anything that he says or does that can be considered part of his official responsibilities. Then the question is, for many, then what is considered an official act? So that's something we're going to talk about later on. But right now, tell me what's on your mind. What are some of your pet peeves? What are your thoughts? Today has been a busy day. I want to continue to send my condolences to the Batiste Davenport family on the loss of Patricia Davenport, your mom, uh, Mother Batiste. Had a beautiful homegoing service for her on today. Thank God for the life that she lived. And we just have to pray because there's so many different things that are going on. A lot of things are going on out there. We have to be very prayerful. Things are happening that are affecting us. I think it's time that we as believers by Christ to get more serious about our walk and our relationship with God. We really should. There are so many people who are not taking it serious, and we have to be prayerful because so many things are happening, unfolding. We've always talked about the end time. The end time, God is soon to come, and things are happening. But we always have had a certain degree of civility within this country. We had moral leadership. When I say moral leadership, as moral as can be for individuals who have not totally declared themselves Christians. But we're seeing a shift now where people are shifting away from a moral responsibility to the office and moral, uh, having a moral compass. It seems like anything goes, anything is justified. And there's a scripture that I'm reminded of, say, that there is that there was, that there was, that should shall be. In other words, Bible lets us know there's nothing new under the sun. So when we look at the collapse of major society, Rome society, various societies, it started with the church. It started with our relationship with God. It started with people being callous to what's going on, people not praying, people not drawing close to God. So I think we're at a time where people need to just learn how to draw close to God. We need praying men and women, and we need to take our relationship with God and one another serious. Uh, what affects me oftentimes is how people when we deal with relationships, relationships in the church. Do people have love for one another in the church? Do you feel? Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you feel that the church has that love for one another that we used to, or we just talk about it? I people are don't have compassion and concern for other people like we used to do years ago. Uh, but we just we need to get back to that. Again, I'm thankful for those who are on here. Um, Last week we were on a different time zone at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time rather than 8 o'clock, and we tried to put it out there because we raised because of the centennial. We wanted to support that the ABSA and Apostolic Bible Student Association Council. So we changed it so we can work with them and not against them. That's what we need to do. We churches, organizations, we need to work together. We need to strengthen one another. We need to support each other and encourage. But I had so many people that called me and said, call me, text me, inbox me. Hey, I was looking at your program. Your program wasn't what happened. Well, we try our best to let everyone know that It's My Turn now was coming on an hour, 2 hour. Wow, it was 2 hours earlier. And so if you missed us last week, it was someone said, well, I guess you weren't on. I said, no, we were just on earlier. So if you missed us last week, you tuned in at 8 o'clock. We were done by 7 o'clock because we did it live and on location. So let us know what's on your mind. If you have any relationship questions, you can shoot those questions at me. I'll be more than happy to talk to you. I'm concerned as a counselor and focusing on marriage and family therapy. I'm concerned about relationships. And I think we all should be concerned about having healthy relationships. And asking ourselves, do you have a healthy relationship? How do you get along with people? Sometimes people have problems getting along with individuals, and they can't see themselves. They can't understand why they're having problems. And I tell people many times, you have to check yourself and be honest with yourself. Many times when people have problems in relationship, your husband, wives, friends, family, they point the finger at everyone else but themselves. And I share with people the three areas that people say, what are the three areas that greatest problems in relationships? And I tell them simple, and I deal with it all the time. It's communication, trust, and finances. I think it's important that we learn how to build trust with our friends, trust with the family. I tell people I've had friends I've had for 30, 40, 50 years. You probably look at me and say, man, 50 years, are you that old? Yeah, I'm past 50 years. I've had some I've had for as long as 58 years. Why? Because you build healthy relationships. You support one another. You encourage one another. Sometimes people can be so critical of each other. We have to learn not to be critical of one another and try to be more prayerful. God bless you, Brother Jeff. Thanks for joining. It's my turn now. Brother Jeff says, hi, Pastor. God bless you. So glad that you joined us. So glad for each and every one of you. Again, as I say each week, please share. Share. Let them know it's my turn now is on the air. Share it. Hit that share button. Let them know that we're on here. This is your opportunity. Some of you like to talk. If you like to talk and you want to be heard and you say, hey, I got some stuff that's on my mind that I want to talk about, this is your opportunity. Open mic. This is your opportunity. As I said tonight, you are the guest. Who's the guest? You're the guest. Whoever comes on here, there's a link that's on my Facebook page. If you see the link, you can click on the link. You can come on live. We can hear you and we can see you. It's your turn now. You are the guest tonight. Doing a little bit different, but it's open mic night. Get a lot of feedback when we had the open mic night because a lot of people want, say, hey, I want to talk, but I'm not sure, the subject. This is your chance to just share with us. If you got something that you just want to discuss, if there's something you want to get off your chest, this is your time. We're going to listen to you to see what's on your mind, to let us know what your thoughts are. Because if you're thinking about it, guess what? Somebody else is thinking about it and someone else is dealing with it as well. So I want to hear what you have to say. Think what you have. Let us know what you think about the Supreme Court ruling. I don't know about you, but I kind of got somewhat emotional when I saw the ruling because I look at the state of this country right now, and So many things are happening, and it makes no difference. A lot of things that happen under the banner of Christianity. People are saying they're Christian, they're Christ-like, but they don't have love. They don't have compassion. You know, how can you be a Christian and not have compassion? Are you Christian in name only? Are you Christian in deed? Are you Christian in thought? It's a problem. It's a problem when people say they love God and you say you love me with your mouth, but your heart is far from me. There's so many people saying if we were to exercise more love toward each other, more love toward the church, uh, there'll be a lot less problems that we have. There are a lot of times there are individuals just plain selfish. It's all about me and not concerned about anybody else but for themselves. Now, how many of you know somebody like that? And how do you handle it? Tell me, how do you handle someone who is all about me? Some of us have friends. Your friends, I guess you can call them friends, so-called friends that the only problem they want to talk about is their problem. Every time you see them, when they have a problem, they want to talk to you about the problem. But when you have a problem, they don't have time. They're too busy. But they'll call you when they have problems. Tell me about if you know somebody like that, and what are your thoughts about it? And how do you handle that? I know how I handle it, but I want to know how you handle that problem because it is a serious thing with a lot of people. I hear that often, and so we have to ask yourself, who is your friend? You know, who do you consider your friends? We talk various weeks. We talk about a subject of friends. Um, Everybody is not your friend. There are some people who are your associates, but they're not your friend. Bible said, "Friend loved at all times." Now, if you have someone that's close to you, and when you need them, they're unsupportive. They're not there for you on a consistent basis because I understand everyone cannot be there with you every time. But a good friend is someone who's going to take the time to hear what you have to say, to listen to you. It's so important. So, tell me if you have a good friend. If you sometimes they're saying that if you have one good friend, you're doing good. If you have two good friends in this lifetime, you're doing extremely good. I've been blessed to have a number of friends. I thank God for the various friends that I have. And I believe the Bible said he that has friends must show himself friendly. So I believe that if I'm going to have a friend, I've got to show myself friendly. I can't. A friendship can be one sided. It can't just be a one sided friendship. You got to be willing to be there to support your friends. You got to be willing to be there to encourage them. There's nothing like someone that you're there for them all the time, and the very moment that you need them, they're missing in action. So you have to ask yourself, what kind of friend? What do you do when you have that type of friend? That's there. You're there for them. They're not there for you. What do you do about that? What type of friend? There's some people don't have friends. Is there somebody? If you don't hear you don't have any friends, let me know. If you don't have any friends, I like to know why you don't have any friends. Because everyone should have a friend. But what causes you from having a friend? There's some people that just have a hard time getting close to other people. They don't want to get close to other people. There's some people that get too close. One of the things I talk about individuals and relationships. Sometimes I talk to some of female clients I've had, and they'll tell me that they're having problems, getting a relationship and maintain a relationship. A lot of times, uh, either people disclose too much or not enough. Sometimes people will tell you all their business the first time you meet them. You don't want to tell people all your business the first time you meet them. You want to kind of give them a chance to get to know you, give them a chance to fill you out. But there's some people, you meet them and they'll tell you all the problems they have right away. No, no, you don't want that. That is not a healthy relationship to just tell somebody all the problems that you have. So sometimes you can overwhelm a person. You have to be very careful that you're not overwhelming your friends. So if you have a good friend, do not be overwhelmed with that friend. Be there, support them, encourage them, listen to them, but don't overwhelm your friendship. Don't put too much. And sometimes I've learned too, in a good friendship, don't have super high expectations of your friends. Sometimes people expect the world from their friends. People have problems, people have issues, and so they can't always be there for you every time that you need them. At your beck and call. Don't expect too much from your friends. Don't matter of fact, don't expect too much from your family. There are individuals that if you don't help them, uh, then when they feel like they need you, they want you to run uh, to them every time they call. They want you to run to them, be there for them. I'm going through something. I need you there, and it's good to have a friend that's there when you're going through something. But you got to understand that you got to be willing to just show love and support. You got to be willing to just be encouraging to other people and to let them know that that you're in their corner, but you just can't be over. Um, you just can't be over controlling and want people to be there for you all the time. There are limitations. People have limitations as to what they can do, and so uh, we just have to realize a little distracted here. My wife had me her cell phone. I guess she's having problems with. Let me see it. Slide the power off and turn it back on. And see what we can do. I had to try it again because she's trying to get her phone working. She usually comes on, so I was wondering what happened to her. Appreciate her coming on. Okay, she's handed it to me again. I want to know what your thoughts are. If you're on here, a lot of times people say, I had someone told me today, I listen to your program every week, and I told them, I said, I've never one time heard them give a comment or response or anything, or text, but they're there. And I do appreciate all those who tune in the program, but I certainly would love to hear you. I certainly love to hear what your thoughts are, what's on your mind. Please share that with me because I do care. A lot of times, like I said, what calls this program for this? I have a lot of clients. I've had a lot of clients who have told me that you know no one listens to what I have to say. No one cares. No one cares what I have to. I think so. God spoke to me, and God said, I want you to start a program called "It's My Turn Now," where on that program you give everybody a chance. You give everybody a chance to just say what's on their mind. Just tell us what their thoughts are. So this is your opportunity. Sort of like you can almost call a free um, counseling session where you get a chance to just pour your heart out to us and let us know what your thoughts are. This is your chance to be heard and to be validated, because sometimes people are not heard and they're not validated because no one cares. So we want you to know that when you come on this program, you will be heard, and you do have a chance to just say what's on your mind. You have a chance to tell us what your thoughts are. There's a lot going on in the city. I know they had the Indianapolis Expo going on last week, which I wasn't able to be a part of that. In the years gone by, I was able to be part of it. But somehow, I don't know, I missed it. I guess because we were at our council, I missed it all week long. But I talked to some individuals who were there who enjoyed themselves at that. If there's something that's going on in your life, let us know. Let us know what it is. We're not going to be on loan today. It's been, like I said, it's been a very busy day, a very busy week, very busy week. Um, so, you know, I'm going to talk about relationships. Um, Ask yourself how many people that you're close to. There are some people that are close to a few people. There's some people close to nobody. So I've seen husbands and wives that have problems and not communicating. And I think that for the most part, well, I know for the most part, if two people are in church and they love the Lord and they operate according to the principles of God, then they can make it. They don't have to divorce. I'm gonna say it again because I know there's somebody saying, "Well, everybody's not compatible." That's true. Everybody's not compatible, but the key is what I'm saying. If you love God and you say you really love God, the Bible says, "If you love me, you'll keep my commandments." If you love God and you're a praying man or a praying woman, and I said, if both of you, because it's amazing how many couples I've seen that they both love the Lord, they both say they're saved, both filled with the Holy Ghost, and they can't get along. And many times because one person is not willing to let down. You got to be willing to let down. You got to be willing to take some stuff from another person. My wife and I just recently celebrated 43 years. Wow, that's a long time. 43 years. Has everything been perfect? No, everything hasn't been perfect. No, it hasn't been perfect. But we learn how to communicate. I learned how to listen. So I think one of the most effective things you can do is learn how to be an effective listener. Listen to people. Listen to what they're saying. I called someone up today, and I said, "How are you doing?" They said, "I'm doing fine," but because I'm listening to their voice, I realized there was something was going on. I said, "Hey," I said something going on. I can tell in your voice, and then they began to share with me what was going on. There was something going on, but sometimes people don't take the time to just listen to people. Listen to what people are saying. People want to be heard. Parents need to listen to the children. And the problem is if we don't listen to our kids, then they someone's going to get their ear. Someone's going to get there. That's why a lot of kids sometimes are in trouble. They're getting games because they want they need something or someone to identify with. So the church, we have to create an environment where people feel connected. Let me if you don't hear, let me know. Do you feel connected with your church, or are you just going to your church? People need to feel connected. They need to feel wholeness. They need to feel like they're a part of. And sometimes churches are is like an exclusive club. Only certain people can get it in this and get into the club. Only certain people can be heard, or certain people can do things. It shouldn't be that. Everyone should be respected in the house of God. Everyone deserves to be heard, not just certain people. I don't allow my title, my position to make me feel that I'm any better than anybody else because I'm not. You know, we all are same in the sight of God, but you listen. I don't care how much money you amass or what your position are. You can't get so arrogant. You can't get so arrogant that you are willing to put yourself above the next person. Too many people are so arrogant that think that I don't care what kind of car you got. You might be driving a Lamborghini, a Bentley, whatever type of car you that doesn't define. There are people that got money and don't have class. I'm saying again, this folks got money. Money can't buy class. Money cannot buy character. Character is developed, and you can develop your character by the way you act and the way that you treat other people. Wonder what is your character like? What type of character do you have? How do you make people feel who are around you? The old saying is that people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. And they also said people may not remember your conversation, but they remember how you made them feel. There's some people I can forget their name, but when I see them, I have a warm feeling because they connect with me. They made me feel special. They made me feel valued. And so people may not always remember the conversation that you had, but people know the impact that you have on their life. I had a young man came up to me on Friday night. He said, "I just want to let you know." He said, at that time I was driving Mercedes. He said, "I want you to know that I never forgot that when you were driving your Mercedes Benz, my car stopped and you got out and jumped my car with your Mercedes Benz. A lot of people wouldn't take the time to even try to help him out, but I took the time." He never forgot that. I did not remember that. I wonder how many memories are you allowing people to have? How many positive memories are you making with people? So you can have a positive memory, create a positive memory with someone, and not have a lot of interaction with them. Just a smile, just a kind word makes a difference. But some people are they're frustrated, they're angry, and because they're frustrated and angry, they want everybody around them to be frustrated and angry. That's sad. If you have that type of attitude and that type of spirit, and you're frustrated all the time, you're angry all the time, and you want people to be frustrated and angry because you're frustrated and angry, that's a problem. Nobody want, and then you wonder why people don't want to be bothered with you. Do people, ask yourself a question, do people feel better once they leave you? Do they feel better after they're around you, or do they feel worse? Do they leave with a smile, or do they leave upset? What type of impression do you have on those around you? Are people glad to see you? Or people say, oh, here she comes, here he comes. And all that has to do with your attitude. Your attitude affects those that are around you. Your attitude can affect those who, those who want to be around you, those who want to talk to you. Some people that you have to, it's almost like you have to walk on eggshells to talk to them. No child of God should make people feel like, oh, I better walk on eggshells if I say the wrong thing. If I say the wrong thing, I'm going to hurt the feelings. If I say the wrong thing, they're going to snap at me. That should not be the case with any Christian, anybody that say that they love the Lord. That should not be the case. So, we have to check ourselves out and say, hey, where's my attitude at? Do what they call an attitude check. Sometimes you have to just do an attitude check. Check your attitude out. Ain't nothing wrong with doing an attitude check. You can't get so high minded that I don't care what nobody thinks. I check myself out. I give myself an attitude check. I say, now, do you have the right attitude? What's your spirit like? Because everybody can have a bad day. And so when you have a bad day, what do? Then you have to be sensitive to yourself. You have to be sensitive to know yourself. Listen, I'm having a bad day right now. I'm not, I'm not feeling my best. So be mindful of that. I'm just not having a good day. So because I know myself, I know I'm not having a good day, then if I tell myself I'm not having a good day, and so then I find myself in interaction with somebody and I said, oh, this ain't going nowhere, or this is going to go south real quick, then I need to know myself. I need to know when to back out of a situation, when to let it go, not get into a verbal confrontation with somebody. Because when you're frustrated and you're tired, you can easily get into argument with someone that you normally would not get into if you weren't tired. So you got to be mindful of that. You got to be careful. You got to say, hey, I understand. I'm having a bad day. But by the same token, you got to be willing to recognize somebody else and allow that person to have a bad day. Allow friends, allow your friends, your family to have a bad day. Say, this person has just having a bad day, and I'm going to be patient with him. I'm going to be patient with her, and not snap back. There's some folks will snap back at you for anything. Let a person, allow them to have a bad day. Say, hey, listen, you're snapping at me. I understand. You may, think maybe having a rough time. I understand that. If you get a conversation with somebody having a rough time, hey, let's maybe we need to table this conversation and have the conversation another day. We all have bad moments. We all have bad moments, but don't make a bad moment define a relationship. Some people are on the edge. I was talking to someone today. I said, you're a little bit edgy today, And so I talked to him. I said, I said, have you thought about therapy? And then they tell me, I have thought about therapy. There's a lot of folks out there. This might not go along with some of your theology, but there's a lot of folks out there that can use some psychological therapy, emotional therapy, because they just can't cope. They don't know how to deal with people. They don't know how to handle the anger. Some people are angry for no reason. Some people are angry. They don't know why they're angry. But instead of trying to find out why they're angry, they just continue to operate in the anger. You got to learn how to adjust your attitude to various circumstances in your life. You have to learn how to do that. You got to be willing to say, I recognize myself. First of all, you got to know yourself. Sometimes so many of us are trying to understand everybody else. You need to check yourself out. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to tell yourself, listen, I got some problems. I got some issues. Examine yourself. The Bible talks about to let man examine himself. We talk about it during communion time, but I think that's something that will serve us well all the time. Examine yourself. See where you're at. Know your challenges. Know your strengths. Know your weaknesses. I'm talking right to somebody. If I'm talking right to somebody, I want somebody to just come and let me know that you hearing what I'm saying, because I want to be able to help somebody right now. I want to be able to help you in your relationship. I talk to a lot of individuals, and sometimes I talk to pastors, and people are having problems, they're having issues, and by the time you get to the pastor, it's full blown problem, and it is almost beyond repair. But as a man of faith, I don't think where there's life, there's still hope, and I think many relationships can be solved if people will communicate. What the enemy does, he tries to get you not to communicate, try not to communicate when you're upset. Some people say, "Well, I can't talk now." Well, granted, there are times when you don't feel like talking, but when you don't feel like talking, then say, "You know what? I don't feel like talking, but give me a chance to just settle myself. Give me a chance to settle myself." But you're not going. Any relationship is not going to get better if you refuse to talk. Well, I'm not going to talk about it. What's wrong? You know what's wrong. Well, unfortunately, I don't know anybody that is a mind reader. Now I know people that have a spirit of discernment. I've been blessed to have a spirit of discernment, but I certainly can't read minds. I've had people that accuse me of reading the mind. I know when the spirit of God speaks to you, God can share with you. I think as one person said that the prophet knew even what was said in the chamber, because that's because the power of God. God can work like that. But in the natural, you got to be willing to just take the time, sit down and talk, work things out. I'm trying to help somebody tonight now. Work things out. Don't let things get so bad for so long that you don't care. Because many times I've seen in conflict, people or what they call it in passe in chess. Two chess pieces are right next to each other, two pawns right next to each other, and they can't move. They can't. They need a pawn can move forward, because pawns can only move forward, unless you're capturing another piece. So and they can't move, and so something has happened. There are a lot of people at that point in their relationships, but somebody's got to say, "Hey, we got to change this. We got to communicate. We have to talk. We have to work things out." So again, maybe someone said, "You know what? I don't have no pet peeves," but everybody got pet peeves. Some people just more vocal about pet peeves. The little things that bother, the little things that annoy you. I remember, one of the pet peeves. When I'm in church, I come hear a sermon. Pet peeve. I don't want to hear a preacher take the whole sermon just throwing off of somebody. Just throwing off of somebody. We got people that it seems like the only way they can make themselves seem to be spiritual is to run down people and top other people. That's my pet peeve. The gospel is the good news. Now, granted, there's times that you have to instruct and you have to correct. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who are just critical, running people down. Nobody's right. There's always going to be somebody right. God's going to always have somebody. You may not be right, and you may not be around people that are right. You may need to change the people you hang around, because there are some people that are right. There's some people that love God. There's people that want to do right. So you got to, change that mindset, change the attitude, and change the mindset that says nobody's right, and I'm not happy unless I'm criticized. I see that not only I see that in church, but I see unsaved people that have the attitude that they're not saved, but they criticize everybody's in church and nobody's around. And we have to be careful. We that are in church, we that are Christian minded, that we don't encourage that. Oftentimes I hear people say things about preachers. It may not be one of your favorite preachers, but I tell them, let's pray for them. I'm not taking the time to just I'm not going to waste my breath and my energy just talking about folks. Do something constructive. Do something. Listen, I'm not gonna waste good time and energy thinking negative. Reframe, change the way you think. I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were saying that they were broke. I said, "No, you're not broke. You have a temporary deficit. A temporary debt. You can reframe or change the way you think. Change the way you think. Don't tell yourself everybody's against you. There may be one or two people against you, but everybody's not against you. So we have to just change the way we think, and not always think in the negative. Think more positive. Speak positive things. Think positive things. And a lot of times when you think positive thoughts and positive things can happen. When you speak negative, oh, all gloom and doom, and nothing's good is going to happen to me, then that's what happened. When you do that, then words are so powerful. And I've seen that when people speak negatively, uh, that's what they get. So we have to learn how to speak positive. I have chosen to speak positive words to myself. I tell myself I can do all things through Christ with strength. I tell myself I'm the head and not the tail. I tell myself I should be a lender and not a borrower. Talk to yourself. You got to talk to yourself. You got to encourage yourself. Ask yourself, where do you want to go? Where in life do you want to go? I can remember as a young person, when I first got in church, they talked about paying 10% tithes, and they always told us you reap what you sow. So I said, that sounds interesting. So I said, I'm going to sow even more. I'm going to give more. And you sing a song, you can't be God given. The more you give, the more he gives to you. And I found that to be true because I believe it. And I act upon what I believe. Sometimes people say they believe it, but they don't act upon what you believe. Do we really believe the things in church that we say? Do we really believe the things in church that we talk about? Do we really believe what we're saying? That's what I want to know. Do you believe uh, the songs that you sing? I love Jesus. I won't take it back. Do you really love Jesus? You know, Jesus told Peter, "Say, love me, feed my sheep." There is a responsibility that goes along with love. Love is not just someone saying that I love you and I have a fuzzy feeling when I'm around you, but love uh, requires commitment, requires responsibility, it requires sacrifice. Are you willing to make those sacrifices for those that you love? Are you willing to make those sacrifices for those that are around you that God placed in your inner circle? There are people that God has placed in your inner circle to be a blessing. I don't know about you, but I'm going to encourage those here where you listen to the program live or you listen to it later on. I want to encourage you to focus more on acts of kindness. My wife and I, we were riding down the street. We saw a young man. He wasn't on the corner holding a sign, but he was walking barefooted. Looked like he needed some help. We went past our stop to go our way to say, "Hey, you know, here." He looked like he was so surprised. We got to be willing to demonstrate the love of God. I was driving out my driveway, saw somebody about 7 houses down the street. One of my neighbors. We so busy and hustle and bustles of society. A lot of us don't know who our neighbors are. I remember when we were younger, we knew who our neighbors were. We played on the streets together. We talked. We sit, talk across the fence or whatever. And I saw a neighbor I'd never seen him before. I had asked them, "Do you live here?" Because I'd never seen him before. They said yes, and I began to start talking to them, and they began to say, "You're a godsend. We're lonely. We need somebody to talk to." There are people out there that are lonely, people that need someone to show that they care about them. And so many times we feel sorry for them. Find somebody that you can encourage. Find somebody that you can be a blessing. Everybody don't have money to give. Just take time, spend time with folks. There are a lot of positive things you can do. This is what is a reflection of church. This is what will cause people to want to come to the church. When a lot of times people are in church and a lot of people are not feeling supported, they don't feel that people care about them. So that's why a lot of people turn away from church. But the church will get to the point where people begin to start uh, feeling that they care, about them, then when we see that happening, then you'll see more people come to church. We got to make people feel welcome when they come to church. We can't make people feel like that that no one cares about them. We need to let them feel that you care about them. We got to be able to reach out uh, to our friends. We need to let people know I'm concerned about you. So that's what we need to do. I wonder when's the last time you reached out to someone and you showed them that you're concerned about them. Maybe it's a perfect stranger. Acts of kindness is a blessing, and showing acts of kindness to other people. Well, I want to talk about the Supreme Court decision. I didn't want to talk about gloom and doom, but my heart is heavy when I saw that they're saying that the president, I think if we have a president that's not corrupt, and I pray that we never get presidents that is corrupt, but we have a president who is corrupt, and they give him complete immunity to do whatever he feels is right, his discretion. We heading for trouble. This country's heading for trouble if that's the case. That a president who has, but when we look at the scripture, what I was saying earlier, that there was, that shall be, they've had ungodly kings and ungodly rulers, and they have destroyed the nation. We have to be prayerful. We have to be prayerful. We're in the midst coming up on a presidential election. We've got to pray. We got to pray. And it seems to me that a lot of people who are Christian minded are only Christian minded to a certain degree. They are tolerant of a lot of injustice. If you're a Christian and you're a Christian minded, how are you going to be so tolerant of so much injustice? Tell me. When you are a child of God, you should shun evil. You shouldn't embrace evil. You shouldn't have respect a person. You shouldn't have not concern for your brothers and sisters. These are the foundation of what a godly life is about. So how can I say that I'm a Christian and I'm against certain things, and especially in particular when you say I'm for the right for life? I'm all for the right to life. I'm all for it. All lives. I'm for the right life of babies. I'm in right for life for those who police tell them to stop and they're running, got the back turned, and police feel like it's okay to shoot them in the back. It seems like that there should be outrage with that. I mean, if you're concerned and have a right for life, we should be concerned about all life. All lives matter. And we have to be careful of that. We can't be selective and say who I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about this person. I'm concerned about that person. We need to be concerned about everybody. So you see, tonight is open mic. So it's my turn now. I guess no one has come on to express themselves. You still have time, but I have pet peeves with people who say they love God and they see themselves as so critical of everybody else, but they're not looking at themselves. They're not looking at how they treat people. They can say anything to anybody. Anybody know what I'm talking about? There's individuals that will they'll say anything to you, don't care about your feelings, but if you say the slightest little thing to them, all of a sudden their feelings are hurt. You need to grow up. If you can't take it, don't put it out. Folks willing to put out. If you can't take it, don't put it out. That's a pet peeve of mine. Don't be running people down. This you hear something about yourself, and all of a sudden you feeling hurt. You done ran everybody in the church down. You hear one thing happen, somebody say something, you ready to leave the church. I ain't gonna deal with nobody. Grow up. Grow up and be mature. Don't be a baby. Grow up. We need to grow up. So that's my pet peeve. That's one of my pet peeves. Immaturity. When you consider yourself and you say I'm supposed to be spiritual and I've been in church this long, I've been in church this long, and you don't see no fruits of the spirit, there is a problem, brothers and sisters. There is a problem. Don't tell me how long you've been in church and you still can't love your brothers and sisters. So it's something wrong. Don't tell me how long you've been in church and you critical. Now here's the way I am. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm striving to be perfect. I'm not saying I never talked about nobody. I've talked about folks in the past, but I'm sure watching. I'm watching what I say about people now, because sometimes people can misconstrue what you say. So I'm even more careful of what I say to people now, because there have been times that I've said things to people, just innocent, not real, and someone has turned the whole thing around. So I'm being careful of what I say to people, because now listen, you can't, you know, if I try to, if I'm worried about everything I say, then I'm not gonna be able to say anything. But there's some folks that gonna not like it no matter what you say. No matter what you do, they're just not gonna like you. No matter what you say, you know. I mean, one time I talked to my church one time. This is years ago, probably about 25 years ago. I was told the church, I said, listen, we don't have to be a church all day long. We can let the Lord have his way and we can leave. When God says leave, we're going to leave. Somebody had to never say, he's killing the spirit. You can't regulate the Holy Ghost. Those super spiritual people, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all, they got them in every church. It's so spiritual. What he's doing, he's quenching the spirit. No, I ain't quenching spirit. I never said that. I said we don't have to be at service all day. We can have a good quality service and not be there all day, because you can't tell it all. I've learned when it comes to preaching, I can't tell it all. I ain't gonna try to preach nowhere no hour and a half. If I got something else to say it the next day. God will do it next time. But then I say, you know what? You know, we're gonna have a powerful service, and everybody take the time. Then folks say, I don't want to be in service, because they're in service all too long. You see what I'm saying? They complain if you're there too long. They complain if they're not enough. And these are the same people. So you can't please everybody all the time. Some people gonna be pleased, and some people not gonna be pleased. So I'm telling you right now, don't try to please everybody. Just try to please God, because you try to please everybody. Everybody gonna like you. And people know me. Those who know me know me. I ain't trying to please everybody. I am nice to everybody. I respect everybody. I go out my way to be nice to people, but it's not for the sake of trying to be a people pleaser. I just like doing nice things to people, but I can't get wrapped up and worrying about what people think about me. And does this person care about? Listen, folks don't like you. Folks don't want to see you do nothing. If you wait for folks to pat you in back, shame on that. Folks waiting for people to pat you in back. I ain't waiting for nobody to pat me in back. Listen, I'd be like, it's those of you older people. Remember that commercial, Maytag repairman? Say he's the loneliest man in the world because the Maytags never broke down, so he have nothing. If I waited for folks to pat me on the back or say something about me, then I'd be like the Maytag repairman. I'd be a lonely fellow. You got to encourage yourself in the Lord. Bible, we talk about David encouraging himself in the Lord. When you're going through something, when you're going through depression, when you're going through anxiety, when you're going through stress, you've got to find a way to encourage yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Focus on what you've done good. Don't focus on your mistakes. Too many of us, we think being spiritual is being super critical of myself. Being spiritual is saying, you know what, I messed up today. Listen, you make a mistake, ask God to help you, ask God to forgive you, and keep on going. Don't focus on past mistakes of the past. Look forward. Say, I'm gonna do. Yes, I made a mistake, but I'm gonna do better. Now, I'm not saying that you said I'll make a mistake and so what. I'm saying a person who is genuinely striving to do the best they can. Don't be hard on yourself. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies because we criticize ourselves too much. And so I think when people get to the point where they criticize themselves and they beat themselves and they beat themselves and beat themselves, they become depressed. And then you open up a gate for the devil to talk to you. And once the devil starts talking to you, he got your ear, and he's gonna keep on talking. You're no good for nothing. You ain't got this going. So and so, look at this person, they're doing better. You look at this person, but you don't realize how blessed you are. Look at your own self. Say, I'm blessed. I got my health. I got my strength. I got my potential. I got my mind. And that's important. I talk to a lot of people that the mind is gone. Their mind is gone, fried. Some from drugs, some is just the trick of the enemy, but the mind is gone. And I try to work with them. So if you got a mind, we sing the song that I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Jesus. I woke up this morning. When you can say, I woke up this morning with my mind still on the Lord, stayed on Jesus, you're saying a whole lot. Because some folks, they wake up with the mind, first thing they're thinking of, how am I going to get a fix? How am I going to get this? Am I going to go to jail today? Run from the cops. Run from this person. And you able to wake up and just give God the praise, give God the glory. Hallelujah. You're blessed. And so you have to focus on how blessed you are and focus on what God has blessed you with rather than focus on what you don't have. So, I've learned to thank God. I may not have everything I want, but I thank God for what he's done for me, because God does not have to do anything for me and didn't have to do anything. So I'm thankful for what he's done. But, again, we have to be prayerful. We have to be, mindful. Be mindful of other people. Take the time out to focus on someone else rather than yourself. How can you be a blessing to somebody else? How can you encourage somebody else? How can you help somebody? It don't have to be a financial blessing. Give somebody a call. Text them. Let them know I'm thinking about you. Let them know I'm praying for you. Some people ain't thinking about nobody because they're all just worried about their own problems. Yes, we all got problems. All of us got problems. But listen, don't just focus on your own little problem, because somebody else would love to have the problem that you have. Somebody else would love to be in your shoes. So that's what we're talking about. We got about 9 more minutes. It's been a long day. I'm about ready to sign off. But if you come on here later on, any of those who saw last week's broadcast where we're live on location, let us know what you thought about, because I'm thinking about doing that again, another live location. But we got to get the bugs out. Last time, there's some different challenges. Those who came on did a fantastic job, but when you're live, there's going to be some challenges. So if you think that you'd like to see It's My Turn Now, just let us know. If you'd like us to come to a meeting that you're doing, or we can share and talk about and communicate and interact together, I would love to do that. But I appreciate everyone that comes on here. I appreciate you. I hear a lot of positive feedback, and I'm so glad. I'm so grateful for the feedback that I hear. It's always good. I have people tell me keep up the good work. Hey, we get ready to go into July 4th holiday. I wonder how many of y'all have big plans for July 4th holiday. I always like barbecue. I don't know if I want barbecue ribs, but I can take a barbecue hot dog or a barbecue chicken or something. If you're barbecuing this July 4th and you got extra plate, just remember your brother. Just remember send something this way right here. But I pray that you have a safe holiday. It's just ironic that we're celebrating Independence Day, and with the Supreme Court decision that the president can pretty much do whatever he wants to. I want to have anyone ever, if any of you can think about the significance of that a president can do whatever he wants to do, call it an official act. Sounds like a dictator to me. Sounds like a king to me, and sounds pretty dangerous. I think there has to be checks and balances. I think there has to be checks and balances in our government. There has to be checks and balances in our church. Sometimes, and sometimes in our church, that's why churches have official boards. Everybody has to be accountable. We need an accountability, because human nature, sometimes we can err. So we need somebody to hold us accountable. I have friends. I have friends. I have people. I have family that hold me accountable. They say, I don't like what I see. I would not have a problem correcting, the behavior. Or first, I ask myself, are they telling the truth? If they're telling the truth, then I ask myself, do I need to correct this behavior? And I will correct behavior. But you need accountability. Nobody should be able to just do whatever they want to do and say I'm this person and can't nobody tell me what to do. No, that's not a godly attitude. The psalmist said, search me, O Lord. David said, search my heart, Lord, if anything. See, we have to have accountability, means of searching the heart. Be willing to search my heart and say, Lord. You see, if you want to grow in God, you got to be willing to search your heart and say, Lord, what's in me, Lord? The Bible says the heart is deceitful and desperately wicked. Who can know it? What's in me? We got to be honest with ourselves, Lord. What's in me, and check yourself. Say, Am I thinking right? Am I acting right? Am I doing right? Somebody please let me know. If I'm not doing right, let me know. I don't need to have an attitude that can't nobody tell me what to do. I'm grown. Listen, it's better that somebody down here on earth tell you what to do than God. So nobody should put themselves so high and high and mighty that they don't have to answer to anybody. And that's what partially what the Supreme Court decision is saying, that the president almost, basically what they're saying really is, they're saying almost, but basically he has complete immunity to do whatever he wants to do. If he tells my, hey, part of face of the documents, I want these documents, then he can do it, and he doesn't have to answer to any of the courts, any of the lower courts. We need to pay attention to what's going on. We can't, hide our head in the proverbial sand. We have to be willing to know what's going on. I think, one of the things scriptures, some of the churches, more radical church, more conservative church, one of their favorite scriptures is my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and they're talking about doctrinal issues and things that are really not biblical. But I really believe our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, not knowing what's going on, not knowing the time. The Bible says the sons of Issachar were men that knew the times and how they ought to act. We are destroyed because we are not wise to what's going on in the world. Things are happening all around us, and we choose to close our eyes. If you don't want to get involved, at least know what's going on so you can pray. Pray and say, Lord, we need to pray for our families, pray for our homes, pray for our churches, pray for our communities. We these are praying times. These are praying times. We have to pray. We have to pray, and we have to be earnest with God, seeking the mind of God, seeking the face of God, and asking God, Lord, I need a word from God. I need you to talk to me, God. And if you would do that, I believe that God will do it. Listen, I got a few more minutes. I want you to let us know what's on your mind. Let us know what's on your mind. Um, Now, for some reason, I'm looking on here, and there are people on my phone. There's people who have gotten comments, but for some reason, I'm not able to see those comments on here. So please forgive me if I can't see it. Let me see. I can see it on my phone. Dolly said, "Praise the Lord, First Lady Walton." Jamie Gonzalez, Bishop, there are many questions you are not reading. I can't see it. Now, I'm able to see it on my phone, but on my computer, it's not showing anything. So until now, I thought I was the only one that was on here. So please forgive me. I thought I was talking about myself. I'm able to see it on my phone, but for some reason on my computer, it's not showing. I see Robin Poole said, "Greetings, Southern Bishop and Lady Walton." Jeff Arkman. The only one I see is showing up is Jeff Arkman. I see Dolly said, "I'm in therapy weekly." Uh, I encourage people. Now I'm running a little bit behind. Jamie, I know I used to go from 0 to 100, but through deliverance in God and therapy, I have overcome some. You don't want to trigger me though. I, like many, still have work to do. Many refuse therapy due to embarrassment. Grew up. Thank you. I apologize. I'm just now seeing this. I just happened to look on my phone. And I see this. It's not showing up on my computer at all, and that's what I normally look at each week. Dolly's Ross says, "My turn now." That my pet peeves are borrowing people who won't pay back and then say it's okay. Huh. Yeah, I'm with you on that. People want to borrow money and don't want to pay you back, and that's a shame. That is a pet peeve. I'm learning not to borrow people money, lend money to people. I'm not gonna do it. But they don't have it. Also, is asking for prayer because someone told them to come to me to pray for them, and I first asked if they're a believer. If not, why am I praying for you and with you? Or tell me their church towel yet not answer the question. Very good. Okay, Sister Walden, I'm just not saying here. I thought Sister Walden had banned me tonight. Said, "Praise the Lord, everyone." Uh, okay, I see where Jamie said, "Thank you." Said, "Bishop, there are many questions you are not reading. It's reading, like I said, reading it because I can't see it." Brother Jeff said, "You're doing a great job, Bishop." Jamie says Dolly Ross and Jeff Arkman are watching with you. Like I said, I'm just now seeing. I'm just saying this. Robin Poole says, I agree. Think positively. I'm sorry, I'm just now getting this right here. I don't know what's going on with my computer here, but nevertheless, I'm glad I saw. I was just going to hang up in the session. It's been, wish I be able to see you. Hopefully on next week. I will be able to see you on next week. Next week, join us again for another episode of It's My Turn Now. For some reason, the only person who I've been able to get on here was Jeff. The rest of Norm, if you know, each week I will highlight your comment, and for some reason, Jeff, you're the man. Jeff, I don't know if you stop everybody else from showing come on here or what, Jeff. I don't know what happened. But again, we're so grateful and so thankful for each and every one of you that join us on It's My Turn Now. I pray that you have a fantastic week. I pray God's blessing. But we got to pray. We have to pray. Sister Poole, I don't know if you made to it's 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock prayer on Sunday. Because she had a busy week. I watched her last week. She was very busy, and so we need some prayer warriors. We need some men and women that are going to pray. If you got a prayer request, this is something I've not done. But you got a prayer request. I can't see it on here, but I can see it on my phone. Leave your prayer request. God is impressed by my heart to spend more time in prayer, and that's what I'm doing. I'm spending more time in prayer. Uh, Seeking the mind of God, seeking clarity. Sometimes we get in a rut, we get stuck, and we wonder why we get in a rut, why we get stuck, because we're not focused on God. We focus on the problem, not the source of our answer. And the source for answer is God, and carrying it to God. Sometimes we talk to our friends and everybody else about problems, and we don't tell God about our problems. So I want to encourage you. These are last days. There's so many things that are happening. We've got to be prayerful. We need to be prayer minded. Yeah, you're right, Jamie. It's my computer. Sister Tanisha Burt says, "Praise the Lord." I'm just like I said. It just so happens that I happen to look at my phone, which I never look at my phone. This is one of the first times I've looked at my phone, and so just happened to see her. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even known that anyone was joining. But I don't know what's wrong with my computer. Uh, that's just it's just kind of a little bit different. But hey, God knows. Okay, that was me. I turned it off to come back on to see if that would solve the problem, but it did not solve the problem. But nevertheless, God is good. I love the Lord. I love you. Can't do nothing about it. People say that, but when do people really mean that? Say, I love you, ain't nothing you can do about it. Because really, ain't nothing you can do about it. You can act mean, you can act hateful, but a person that has love of God in their heart, you can't stop them. I remember the Bible. I'm gonna leave on this right here. Stephen, when they were stoning Stephen, Stephen just looked up to heaven and said, "Lord, forgive him. Stone the man." When you really have love in your heart for people, and I thank God that's one of the greatest gifts that He's given me, a heart of love for people, loving people. That's one of the most godly things that you can do. It's not about it's a God given ability to be able to love people. There's some people do not have the ability to love. If you don't have the ability to love, you need to ask God, Lord, help me to be more loving. Teach me how to love. I guarantee if you pray about it, God will help you. Again, we thankful for each and every one that's on here. Continue to pray for one another. Pray for my friend Bishop Amos, his his wife and daughter were in a car accident. I told them they were kind of banged up, and so I'm not sure how serious it is, but they're in pain. Pray for the Batiste Davenport family that are just lost a mother. Anyone has ever lost a mother, they know the grief and the heart. If you've had a good mother, and certainly she had a good mother, that can be devastating. So her, text her. Give her a call. Let her know that you're praying for her. Just remember those that are going through. Remember to say there are a lot of people, a lot of young people being killed. We need to pray. We need to pray, or you need to pray over your children. You have young children, pray over before they leave the house. Pray for them. Pray for my good friend, Pastor Victor Morrissey, good brother. We're praying for the God will continue to bless him. I just like to say one thing about Bishop Morrissey. See, sometimes we don't let people know how much we value them. But I've watched Bishop Morrissey as he's been faced with challenges, and that brother has had nothing but the utmost spirit of positivity, and it's to be commended. It encourages me when I see his spirit. So when you see him, pray for him, let him know you're praying for him. Encourage. We gotta encourage one another. We gotta stop with criticizing and judging people. Watch your mouths, and that's what I'm doing, working on my mouth, watching what I say. But I don't do it. But it only takes one time for you to say, and then somebody's going to say, what you're doing. But I'm learning to love more. I'm learning to pray more. Let's try to love each other. All right. Don't forget to share. Share this program. I don't know what happened. There's a glitch on it on my end, but that's all right. It's all good. God is still good. I'm thankful for those who came on. We'll see you next week, same time. I hope you have a safe and happy July the 4th. Be careful, be safe. And like I said, if you got some extra, barbecue, don't hesitate to send a little bit this way. I'm checking my phone one more time, see if there's any messages that I left, because I don't want to leave anybody out. Tanisha Birch, I think I got you. Sister Troy said, blessing everyone. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. God bless you. Be blessed. See you next time for the next episode. It's my turn. Don't forget, if you got a program, this is open mic. I was hoping, I don't know if it would work tonight or not if you have clicked on the link, but this is open mic for you a chance to do. We may have to run this back again another time and find out why I wasn't able to see everyone else. So like I said, someone said, it could very well be the computer or something, but it's never happened before. But hey, those things happen. It's all good. We love you. God bless you. Until the next week's episode.